welcome back to our instructional videos for bread and pastry. Again, my name is Dean Rainier Perez and I will be your instructor for today. Today's recipe, vanilla cupcakes. Alright, so you can see my table now. We have our mise en place ready. Mise en place, again, just to give you a brief definition, is putting everything in order before you actually bake. Remember, bread and pastry production is a science, and when you say science, it is a systematic approach to a study of a body of knowledge. So dapat we are very meticulous with the way we measure our ingredients and the way we actually mix our batters for this recipe. So let's start with sifting our dry ingredients. So I have a fine sieve here and another bowl. So our flour needs to be sifted. So this is cake flour. Remember, cake flour is the fluffiest type of flour. Since our recipe for today needs to be airy and fluffy. Alright, so we just dump it all in. To that, I will be adding our baking powder. Alright, and our salt. I told you in our first video that salt is something that we need to balance off the flavor of any sweet ingredients. And let me go ahead and sift that in. By the way, the flour is already pre-sifted. So just a suggestion, you sift it actually thrice in order for us to achieve maximum aeration. Alright. Aside from putting air, we are also removing the lumps in our dry mixture. Okay. Recipes are found in our learning management system. I will be uploading it there. By the way, if you can see that we are doing a lot more in the recipe, it's because I doubled the recipe today, just to make sure that you appreciate how everything is actually mixed up during this process. Okay. Everything is sifted well. So this will be our dry ingredients. Now it's time to deal with our wet ingredients. Now I will be using a standard stand mixer today for the purpose of demonstration. But you guys at home, you can use your wire whisk in order to do this. It's just the same, it's just more manual labor. But again, for the purpose of demonstration, I will be using our standard stand mix, mixer, So first, butter and sugar. Like what I said in the previous video, this is our creaming method. Just add our butter there. I'm gonna just slice it a little bit. Alright, what's important is that we actually cream the sugar together slowly. Alright. So this is how we cream it. If you're using your manual wire whisk, it's also the same. When you see that your butter turns into a little pale yellow, you can now start adding up your eggs. Alright? Put the speed into low and add your eggs one at a time until it's blended. When you see it's blended, it's time to add another egg. And your last egg. We mix that thoroughly. And then we add now our vanilla extract. It's a vanilla cupcake, so vanilla is very instrumental to give it flavor. Alright, I think that's mixed enough. I'll stop there. Remember, once the batter is mixed, you stop. Alright? So how do we incorporate the flour mixture? So this is the flour, and you have milk. Alright? So what you do, you start with the flour and end with the flour, alternating it with the milk. Okay? So probably this is 4 steps. Basta yung step number 1 and step number 4, you end up with the flour. You can also do 5 steps in this. Alright, let's do it. Let's lift it up. You start with the flour mixture that we sifted a while ago. Low speed until it's blended. You can see I'm using the glass one so that you can appreciate what's going on inside. Before I add the milk, I'd like to go ahead and scrape the sides of my bowl so that everything is incorporated thoroughly. It's also important you do this step to make sure that you get everything mixed all in one go. Let's add the milk. Once it's mixed, let's stop it and let's add again our flour mixture. And what I'm doing is 5 steps here. Low speed, guys, and if you're mixing also manually, you actually need low speed here. Patience, guys, patience. Lift. Alright, and then we add our last batch for the milk. that is done, I will dump all the flour. So that's the last of the flour mixture. We'll speed again. Always clean your surface with a clean cloth. Okay, so I am achieving the consistency that I want, and I can see that it is already homogeneous, or it's all mixed up together. Golden rule, once it's mixed, you actually stop. Alright, so this will be our batter for our basic vanilla cupcake. Let me just clean this. Okay. And give it a good stir. Again, just to make sure that I have the right consistency, which I think I have. Okay, you see that consistency? This is exactly what we are looking for. Line them. If you can see, I have liners here. I have a cupcake pan and liner. It's very important so that hindi masyado marumi. Okay. I'm using a ice cream scooper here just to make sure that I have enough for every cupcake. So that pare-pareho yung kanilang sizes. So I'm done doing our cupcake liners. You can see that. So the recipe will make around 24 for a single recipe and 48 for a double recipe. But since I've actually poured more per cupcake liner, we just did 45 pieces, and I think that's done. So it will go to the oven for 325 degrees for 15 to 18 minutes. So I will bake these now, and then I will do the icing to follow. Okay, so while our cupcakes are baking, we will do our buttercream icing or buttercream filling. Sometimes you fill up your cupcakes in the middle so that it has flavor, but this time we'll do an icing na lang on top. So same, we will be using powdered sugar, and we will sift the powdered sugar. Of course, we always do. Our powdered sugar here is already sifted, but I am just sifting it so that I can incorporate air to it. I will be mixing now. So it's called buttercream because it has butter, of course. It's important that you use unsalted butter. Alright. We will cream that first. And now we will add our powdered sugar slowly. Oops, sorry. Sugar. Okay, to that, I will add a little milk at a time. And I think at this point, I'd like to add my vanilla. Vanilla is for flavoring, of course. And you just have to repeat the process until you get into the consistency of an icing. Later on, I'll show you that. Finally came into the consistency that I want for my icing. You can actually stop here, but I like to flavor or color it, no? So that it's a little exciting. I'd like to color it blue. And this is really how we do it if you're doing your business, of course. Coloring this blue so that it's a little exciting later on when we pipe our icing. Needs a little bit more color. Okay. Alright, I think I'm happy with this color, and then later on we will ice our cupcakes. I'll see you again later. Okay, so they're out of the oven. What I'm gonna do is try to pull them out in their liner and then put it in the cooling rack. This is important because we do not want to ice very hot products because the icing will melt. Remember, the icing is butter based. So we are just going to cool these products before we put icing on top. Okay? Okay, so we bought a disposable piping bag here. I have a round tip. Round tip probably costs around 12 pesos. And I will do this. Your hand should be in the C position so that it can scrape out the icing. Okay? So do not fill as much. Turn it. And we are ready to pipe. Okay? So when we're done, we will just do a simple swirl. Okay, just counterclockwise, and just we will just swirl it. Okay, that's a simple swirl. Okay, we will do for all cupcakes. When you're done doing that, you put sprinkles on top. Alright. And there you have it. Our cupcakes are done. Alright, so these are your vanilla cupcakes with buttercream frosting. This is your lesson number 2 for our laboratory component of bread and pastry. Again, my name is Dean Rainier Perez, your instructor for bread and pastry production. See you all next lesson.